Hi-ho. My big old boob. I'm doing my Christmas village. I want to talk about some stuff while I do village because this is the boring part of making snow. Alright, so Christmas time. What a fun time in my stepdad's household. As I mentioned, we had moved from a nice Cape Cod house to a two-bedroom apartment on the third floor of an old Victorian house, right? Just give a recap. And first of all, the only heat source for this apartment, because it's so old, and it was like I said, old Victorian house, didn't have it used to have central heat, but now it's apartments, so it can't have people getting free shit, right? So we had this old gas stove in the kitchen that it was the heater for the house, which means you couldn't have any privacy if you wanted warmth in your room. Not allowed to have a space heater because, well, for a lot of reasons, it's a bad idea. But as you came up the stairs, there was a balustrade, to the left, so you wouldn't be hanging out in the living room and just fall down the stairs drunk, which is a good idea because, my stepfather sure did like to drink. He wasn't like an abusive alcoholic or anything like that, but he was a dumbass. He was on a lot of medication for seizures. He had a couple terrible accidents when he was younger. When he was 10 or so, I went sledding with some of his friends on Bell Island, and one of them was supposed to be looking out for cars because the hill went right down to the road, and the kid was not paying attention. Thank God they didn't have cell phones. It'd be worse, probably. But my stepdad got his head run over by a semi or a truck. I don't remember which kind. He just said a truck. But regardless what size the truck was, this child got his head crushed. And that was in the 40s. So what do you do, right? So they gave him a steel plate in his head when he was like 19. So less than 10 years later, he was riding his motorcycle and got in an accident, and they had to put a second steel plate in his head. They didn't just have two floating around there like continents rubbing on one another. They took away the original steel plate and put in a bigger one. When he finally died and was cremated, they actually handed the fucking steel plate out of his skull to my mom. Why would you do that? She said, "Do you want this?" What? Yeah, I want to say it was inside my husband's skull. Ew. But one Christmas, I was before I went to the faded Elon. I was probably about 13 or 14. And my dad had gone off to the Eagles Club. Now, my mom was already prone to sleepwalking. And around this time, I started developing insomnia. So I couldn't really sleep a lot. And I wasn't really allowed to watch TV. But I thought if I could just watch it on silent, there's not that closed caption shit back then, then I wouldn't get in trouble. So my mom, a couple days before Christmas, maybe about 5-6 days before Christmas, comes out of the bedroom, probably about 10, 11 o'clock at night. Dead asleep they were. She's dead asleep. She drags the blanket out in the living room, throws it on the floor, screams, "There!" and then disappears. And I was like, okay. couple minutes later, about 20, 30 minutes later, my mom's sleepwalking, comes out of the bedroom with her pillows, puts them in the bathroom there's like towel racks. She puts them on the towel rack, and then, goes back to bed. So I'm just observing this, not saying shit. The next morning, I got in trouble for stealing the blankets and the pillows until, I finally explained that, no, you're sleepwalking at Crazy Lady. She was like, oh. So a few days after that, Jack goes down to the Eagles Club because that was 2-3 blocks from the house. And you could, in fact, by the way, you can. You're totally able to walk home the 3 blocks. Your car is not going to get towed. They have their own private parking lot. But, they sure like to drive. And one Christmas, him and my mom got drunk. My mom usually didn't get drunk. But him and my mom got drunk and had me drive this fucking 3-speed on the floor stick shift. And I didn't even know how to drive, let alone how to drive a fucking stick shift. I was like 12 or 13. Yeah, we stalled out all the way home. It would have been much quicker and easier just to walk. But the piece de resistance. Oh, yeah, so I was about 13. So my little sister, probably about 2. And I was babysitting at the house. And my parents had gone off to the Eagles Club. I think my mom came home early. And I was just, no, I went to sleep that night. So I wasn't asleep, but I was like in my room, reading magazines or books or whatever. And I hear Jack come home and he stumbles up the stairs, thump, thump, thump. And then I hear this horrible fight, like he's arguing with somebody, right? So I peek my head out. There's like this little hallway from my bedroom. I peek my head around the corner, and I look, and he's arguing with the Christmas tree, which is right up against that banister, right next to the staircase going downstairs, because our door to the apartment was on the second floor. We lived on the third floor, right? He's arguing with the tree. So he picks the tree up and throws it downstairs, chases downstairs, fighting it. Like, this is the Irish for you, right? He fights the Christmas tree all the way down the fucking stairs. So I go get my mom. I'm like, Jack's lost his shit. She goes out there. Jack, what are you doing? He's like, this son of a bitch is picking a fight with me. I said, this was not a violent man. He was just a dickbag with his face, but like, with his words, but not a violent man, And, yeah, kicked the Christmas tree's ass. So that's a Christmas memory. I'll never fucking forget that one, right? But here's my Christmas village. And, of course, I got Home Depot because, I don't know, you gotta have Home Depot. I'm trying to do this fucking camera front facing there. So I got Home Depot, I got all the Christmas things. I got a dragon in the nativity. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a dragon nativity. I got fairies and gnomes and all the fun things. So, Christmas village. And that got me thinking about that fucking Christmas. My mom was heartbroken too because she had a bunch of like antique ornaments her mom had given her, ornaments that came from Hungary and shit. These drunk guys broke them all. So the moral of this story is, don't get attached to your tree ornaments or buy ones that are indestructible. I like metal ones myself. No, that's our Extraordinary Tales of an Ordinary Person, part 7.